We are continuing with our series on teacher behavior and student achievement, the stuff by Brophy and Thomas. We just finished quantity and pacing of instruction. We are looking at lectures transmission or giving of information. A lot of research says that students learn more when the material is structured. If it's structured out there, they're better able to create structures internally and see how things are organized. Towards this end, to help, a teacher uses overviews, advanced organizers, graphic organizers, or outlines so students can see the structure of what is to be learned. As well, the objectives, it's objective and it's focused on the objectives. This is the purpose statement or the objective for this, and I am focusing just on that. Tend not to go off on tangents. You have a purpose or an objective. Teachers define the main points that are to be learned. These are the important things, and hits those and review those main points and summarizes at the end or in other places. The material has planned redundancy. You know that students don't learn just once. You encounter concepts or skills at various places in the curriculum. The presentation is clear, lacks vagueness. The teacher displays enthusiasm. That's a trait or a disposition. If you're enthused, students are more apt to be enthused. If you're bored and show boredom, I guarantee you that your students will be bored as well. And bite-sized nuggets. You present short bits of information, but you disperse that with activities. You say a little bit and do a little bit, and your activities are used to extend or apply the information. The third part is questioning students. A body of research, Brophy and Good, said that effective teachers vary the complexity of questions. Some high-level questions, some low-level questions, not just burp-it-up questions. High-complexity material should have low complexity of questions. Low complexity of material should have high complexity of questions. Most of the questions should elicit correct responses. You ask unknown answer questions, questions for which the teacher does not know the answer, questions for which it's impossible to get the wrong answer. These are what do you think types of questions. The questions are clear. I would encourage you to test them out on yourself. If you have trouble answering the question, your students will as well. And wait time. You ask a question, you count to 3 or 7, and then you call on students. SEATWORK and homework assignments. Independent seat work does not substitute for active teaching. We said this before, all right? And it is used to practice or to apply what has already been learned. You have a teaching lesson, you're teaching something, and the seat work or homework is not used to challenge students or to measure students. It is practice of what has already been learned. Seat work, homework should be varied and interesting. Remember, the goal is learning, not measuring. It is to practice what is already learned. And it doesn't have to be boring, for gosh darn sakes. And independent seat work, homework, students should be able to complete this with anywhere from 90 to 100% success ratio. When you're doing homework or seat work, success is enhanced when you explain the homework carefully, when you go over it and give examples. This is called guided practice. When you provide class time to work on the homework assignment. In a math class, the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes is spent practicing or working on homework. You, the teacher, then circulates, monitors, you give feedback, and it gives you a sense of who is giving it and who is getting it and who is not. And then students get timely feedback that you correct or you respond to this immediately, not later. Think about this. What is an effective teacher? Define it behaviorally. How would you go about defining effective teachers? Define it behaviorally. How would you go about documenting effective teachers or teaching? Based on what we learned by Brophy and Good. That's just a think about it thing, because this is the end of part 4, not part 3.